On Tuesday's episode of Live with Kelly and Mark Consuelos talked about his uncomfortable interactions with airport security guards, which verged on becoming offensive. That is something that many people can relate to. His issues, nevertheless, come from an unidentified source. To learn more about what made the crowd laugh, continue reading. Consuelos, Mark, and Ripa Kelly visited Palm Springs. The two hosts of the ABC talk show traveled to Palm Springs for Memorial Weekend. Kelly Ripa explained that Mark didn't feel like hiking there, so she went exploring by herself. He said that he was unable to accompany her due to an injury. In any case, she reported to everyone she could locate that she had spotted a coyote lurking around. When she left on her own, Mark Consuelos said he wanted to know where she was. She, however, took issue with that. She also arched her brows when Michael Gilman admitted that he is always aware of his partner's location. In the case, Kelly Ripa made it through her encounter, and the conversation shifted to jokes about embarrassing airport security encounters. Fans enjoy the banter on Live with Kelly and Mark because it offers brief updates on the weather, news, sports, lifestyle, health, food, and other topics. ABC's morning chat program appears to be quite popular. Above all, the co-hosts provide the studio with some lighthearted banter. "I like helping people escape the bad news in life," Kelly Ripa stated when Time recognized her. She prefers to make things more playful. She and Mark did just that this week. According to US Weekly, Mark Consuelos shifted the topic to travel and discussed how much he likes to fly in jeans that are comfortable. But even though there don't seem to be any concealed metal zippers or a rivet, his pants consistently trigger the alert. He then shared his embarrassing experiences with security guards, much to the enjoyment of the Live with Kelly and Mark audience. Mark also talked about another experience he had while flying home from California. The ABC co-host described how he was forced to go through the metal detector twice by the security guard. He put on a glove the second time. "I'm like, what are we doing?" Mark said, "No, this is only second base. We're only playing second base." How do you feel about Mark Consuelos having so many uncomfortable encounters with security guards when passing through airports? Have you ever experienced that? The morning audience of Live with Kelly and Mark thought they were in for the usual lighthearted banter, celebrity interviews, and cozy husband-wife chemistry. What they didn't expect was Mark Consuelos, ever the charismatic co-host, confessing a story that had the studio erupting into laughter, and Kelly Ripa shaking her head in mock disbelief. It started casually. Kelly asked Mark what he had been up to over the weekend, a question that usually leads to stories about their dog, their kids, or perhaps Mark's overzealous attempts at cooking. But this time, Mark leaned forward in his chair with that mischievous grin, a sign to both Kelly and the audience that he was about to drop a tale that straddled the line between embarrassment and comedy gold. Well, he began, dragging out the pause for dramatic effect. "Let's just say I had a memorable interaction with building security." The audience chuckled, and Kelly instantly arched an eyebrow. "Oh no, this already sounds like trouble." The setup, Mark explained that he had arrived unusually early for a production meeting. The building was still quiet, with most of the crew not yet on site. Dressed casually in sweatpants, a hoodie, and a baseball cap pulled low over his face, he didn't exactly scream daytime television star. In fact, he admitted he looked more like someone sneaking in than the guy whose name was on the marquee. "Listen," Mark told the audience, "I thought I was being efficient. Get in early, grab some coffee, maybe impress my wife by actually reading my notes beforehand. Instead, I ended up being treated like a suspicious intruder." Kelly burst into laughter. "That's because you were suspicious. Who shows up in the dead of morning looking like they're about to rob the craft services table?" The encounter. According to Mark, as he swiped his badge at the entrance, the system gave him a loud red beep, the kind of beep that makes everyone within 10 feet stop what they're doing. The security guard on duty, a new hire Mark hadn't met before, immediately stepped in. Mark, a little startled, removed his baseball cap, and tried to explain. No, it's me, Mark. Mark Consuelos. I work here. At this point, Kelly was nearly doubled over at the desk. Oh my God, he gave you the finger quotes on your own name, she cackled. Mark nodded. Yes, he thought I was just some guy pretending to be me. So I start explaining. I co-host the show with Kelly Ripa, my wife. And he just stares at me and says, right, buddy. And I'm married to Bianca. Things got even worse when Mark, in a desperate attempt to prove his identity, pulled out his wallet, only to realize he had left his driver's license in another jacket. All he had on him was a gym membership card and an old loyalty punch card from a juice bar. So now, Mark told the audience, I'm waving around the Smoothie King card like it's a government-issued passport saying, see, this proves I belong here. Meanwhile, the guard's hand is slowly moving toward his radio. Kelly wiped a tear from her eye. Oh, honey, this is so you. You could be in a bank vault with a flashlight, and you'd still be trying to convince people you're just doing research. Mark admitted he started panicking. He considered calling Kelly for backup, but knew she'd still be asleep. And if I woke her up just to say, hey, can you tell security I'm your husband? I'd be in more trouble with her than with the guard. The resolution. After about 15 minutes of tense back and forth, Mark said he was saved by a passing producer who recognized him and vouched for him. The guard, embarrassed, immediately apologized. But the damage was done. Mark's pride had taken a hit. He shook my hand and said, sorry about that, Mr. Consuelos. You just didn't look like yourself. And I'm thinking, wow, so I look like an unshaven burglar when I don't have TV makeup on. Kelly, of course, seized the moment. You know what this means? You need to start wearing a little concealer to bed. Maybe a light contour. That way, even at 6 a.m., security will know you're my co-host and not trying to sneak in for free coffee. The audience roared with laughter. Lessons learned. Mark ended his story with a sheepish grin. So, moral of the story, always carry your ID. And maybe, just maybe, don't show up to your own workplace looking like you're casing the joint. Kelly leaned in with mock seriousness. Or here's another moral. Stop trying to impress me by coming in early. I know who you are, even if security doesn't. But she couldn't resist one last jab. Although, in fairness, Beyoncé's husband is also pretty recognizable. Maybe next time just tell them you're Jay-Z. The aftermath. As word spread through the building, Mark admitted he's been teased relentlessly by the crew. Every time he passes security now, someone jokingly asks for his autograph ID. One stagehand even taped a picture of Beyoncé and Jay-Z on Mark's dressing room door with the caption, "Better luck next time, buddy." Despite the embarrassment, Mark took it all in stride. Honestly, he told the viewers, I'm just happy the guard was doing his job. If he's that tough on me, I feel confident nobody shady is sneaking into this building. Even if that shady person is just me in sweatpants. Kelly nodded, softening her tone for once. That's actually a good point. You'd rather have security stop you 100 times than not notice someone who shouldn't be here. Still though, you married to me? Really? The audience gave one final round of applause as Mark threw up his hands in defeat. What can I say? It was awkward. It was humbling, and it was totally my fault. But hey, at least I got a good story out of it. Why it resonated. The moment captured exactly why viewers tune into Live with Kelly and Mark day after day. It wasn't about celebrity glitz or scripted punchlines. It was about the candid, human moments that make the hosts feel like old friends sitting in your living room. For Mark, the awkward encounter with security became more than a funny anecdote. It was a reminder that even television stars can be mistaken for ordinary people, especially when they ditch the glamour and show up looking, as he put it, like a guy trying to steal donuts. And for Kelly, it was yet another chance to poke fun at her husband in front of millions, a role she plays with both love and expert comedic timing. As the cameras cut to commercial, Kelly leaned over and whispered just loud enough for the microphones to catch. Next time, just wear a sign that says, Yes, I'm really Mark Consuelos. The audience erupted again, proving that sometimes the best live television is simply a husband telling an embarrassing story and a wife who knows exactly how to make it unforgettable.